I would have seen my abs way quicker in high school if I had realised that abs are built in the gym and revealed in the kitchen, and you must treat them like any other muscle on your body. They are not built in the kitchen, they are revealed in the kitchen. You have to build them, you have to train them, not doing 100 like little crunches every single day. You have to train them the exact same as any other muscle, just like your bicep, and reveal them by getting a load of body fat like your bicep to see the definition. Train them the exact same way, act the same way with them as any other muscle on your body. They are no different. So how to actually build your abs? Well, this is the 2 exercises that I do, literally just 2. The same way you could do like 2 exercises for your bicep. First of all, I get an ab crunch machine, just like this. And you're gonna want to train the exact same way as any other muscle. So I'm training to failure, because if you don't train to failure, then your muscle doesn't have any reason to grow. And I train it nice and slow. I make sure that my tempo is nice and slow and controlled. I'm not speeding the rep up. And also, I'm training in the correct rep range. So for me, I train heavy. I train 4 to 7 reps, because that's where I see the most amount of progress. But if you train 8 to 12, then train 8 to 12. Don't be doing 150 reps of ab crunch for just no reason, right? Just because some person online said that it's like 100 reps, you need to do like 200 reps today, and that, like, it's just, you had those like little apps on your phone which was like 60-day ab workout routine app or something, right? And they had like some weird flutter kicks and then moving your legs like this in like a crossway, like, and you did like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Like, that's not how you train any other muscle. So why are we training our abs like that? We just need to use common sense. I use this ab crunch machine, and I go all the way up to the top until the pin just about hits the bottom, just before it hits there. And then I breathe in. You can see I'm almost vacuuming my abdomen inwards like this. So I'm breathing up into it, making sure you breathe through your nose, not through your mouth. And then I exhale. I'm going like I'm pushing out with my breath on the way down and squeezing my abdomen in. Your abs, the way that this trains the top 4 abs, the way you train them is curling your body inwards. You're not like moving your torso backwards and forwards, you are curling it inwards. So you can see I'm in this like crunching position where I'm literally folding in on myself. Not just moving my whole torso like this, it's going into itself. And that is how you train the top 4 abs. This is the only exercise I use, and it's the only one you need. So if you're training like this and it really hurts, and at the end you're trying to push it, and then you actually can't breathe for like 5 seconds, that is when you've done it correctly. And then for the lower 4 abs, all I do, I'd recorded this set about 9 times because I couldn't get the camera angle right, so it's a terrible set. But all you want to do is hang off a bar and bring your knees up into your chest and curl your torso, or curl your, like the bottom half of your body upwards into your chest. So it's basically the reverse of this. So where you're curling your abdomen and your torso down, you're curling instead your legs up into your chest. So if we take a look here at what I'm doing here, it's not a perfect example, but you can see I'm curling my body into itself. So my legs are going in like this. So I'm not just bringing my legs up, I am then curling them inwards. So this is a terrible example, as I said, because I've done this about 9 times. So you can see I'm pretty dead at that point. But again, you're going to train 8 to 12 or 4 to 7 in my case. If you want to actually train correctly, then train for strength. And when you train for strength, what gives you strength? Muscle. Wow. So train for muscle, train for strength, 4 to 7, and you'll see fantastic progress. And I noticed when I was doing the ones where you were like lifting just your legs up, you do like a leg raise, that's what it's called, just a leg raise. That trains your hip flexors. And I never actually felt anything in my abs. But when I do this exercise, and I do it way better than this, because honestly, this is the worst example, you curl your knees into yourself like this, and you curl that extra little bit where you're curling into yourself, like you're tucking in. That is when you feel that amazing, like tense feel, just like you're training any other muscle. That feeling of failure. It's fantastic. Failure is fantastic. So that is how you train it. And a little extra bonus for you, you could do sprinting. Sprinting or any other core exercise, these will train the muscles of your abs, like for show, I guess you could say, so you can reveal your abs and you can see them. This is actual core strength. So if you want to train your core so that you actually have more balance and it's more of like a functional movement, then doing things like sprinting will work. So when I used to do, I don't really do sprinting anymore. I should probably do it. But when you do sprinting, I used to do it outside, just like on a field, or you can do it in the gym. Nicer to do it on a field, but you can do it on the gym if you want to. So this machine is like an unlimited treadmill, and it absolutely burns. You've got to absolutely sprint like hell. And I used to do about 5 sets of 20-second sprint, I think, 15-second, 20-second sprint, something like that. And this is absolutely burning. And the reason why it's so good for your core on this machine specifically is because it's really hard to stay like stable. I've seen loads of other people try this machine and they're all like wobbling all over the place. So this actually really trains your core. I know you can't really tell here because it's just like I'm running forward, but if you try this machine, you'll be like, oh damn, it's actually quite hard to stay stable. So this is a fantastic core exercise, but not necessarily ab exercise. Ab exercises and core exercises are slightly different. So now, how do you actually reveal your abs? So just like a muscle, like a bicep vein, right? You have to build the bicep. If we had no bicep and you said, oh yeah, they're just built in the kitchen or whatever, you get down to a low enough body fat so that you can see your bicep, but then all of a sudden it's got like loads of body fat covering it and you won't be able to see like the bicep vein. It's like, well, yeah, you've got to build a big muscle first. When you build the big muscle, then you can reveal it and see the big muscle. But like my abs, I didn't train them for the first couple of years of my training, meaning that I had no abs to reveal. I didn't have any abs because, well, I did, but I didn't have big abs, right? So we want to train our abs. And so how do you actually reveal them? Don't do this. Don't you dare eat grains and chocolate and sweets, dirty bulking, just to... This is what I looked like when I was eating like grains and pasta and rice and that kind of thing, you know, just to meet my calories. Calories in, calories out, guys. When I wasn't eating real food, because this is what you feed to peasants. This is quite literally peasant food. Porridge and oats and things like that, and wheat and bread. That is peasant food, and I am not even joking. That is literally peasant food. If you can imagine, just imagine, if you wanted someone to be strong, would you give them grains or would you give them meat? Just throw your basic understanding of what the world is like right now. Just use your ancestral brain. You will inherently know that meat will give you better results and you will be stronger than if you were to eat grains, right? Regardless of the calories, regardless of the protein, because the protein in here isn't even bioavailable, you won't even be able to absorb it anyway. Meat is what you need to be eating. This is my diet now. Meat, eggs, fruit, and preferably raw dairy. That's it. And it's fantastic. That is where I've seen the results. That is where I now look like that. Here I was eating grains and stuff, although this was at the start of my journey. And this is this is me now. Well, I have actually got abs finally, and like the definition of my shoulders, I can see a bicep. I know you can't really see it here, but sometimes I walk past, you know, like a mirror or something, or like a car window, and I'm not even flexing or anything. And if it's like a little bit hot out, I can just see my bicep vein. I'm like, holy hell, this looks sick, you know? And that's because I'm eating real food. I'm getting all the bioavailable sources of protein from the meat. I'm getting all the, you know, the animal fats, the DHA, EPA for the development of my brain. My hormones are all regulated. I've got, you know, the correct form of carbs that you should be eating, which is fruit, not starchy carbs. Starchy carbs make you fat and bloated like it did here. I was always fat. I was always bloated. Well, I wasn't always fat, but I was always bloated like this. And I just looked horrible the whole time. I looked like really, what's the word? Just not peeled. You know, peeled where you look like really... like dense muscle. I didn't have that. I just looked a little bit flabby. I had muscle, but I was all a bit flabby and all like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, ugh. Whereas when I eat this, I actually look like I have dense muscle, right? So it's so much better. And these forms of carbs are just way better for you. And of course, they've got anti-nutrients in them because every single plant does, so it's not ideal. But that is the least inflammatory, the least worse version of carbohydrates that you consume. And of course you've got carbs in milk and stuff, but milk is basically growth hormone. Like it is literally designed for the growth of an animal. That is what milk is. So it's fantastic. And I've just bought some A2 milk. So you have, this is like a little extra bonus for you. If you get Jersey milk, Jersey as in like the brown cows, there's this one called Graham's that I bought. it has a specific type of protein called A2 casein protein. So when you just buy normal milk, just like from Asda or whatever, Target if you're in America, that'll be A1, and A1 is from the black and white cows. Black and white cows didn't exist. They didn't used to exist. It's not a real cow. It's been crossbred. And so lots of people can't digest that type of protein correctly in comparison to Jersey cows, which are real cows. Their A2 protein we can digest a lot more effectively. And people who are lactose intolerant tend to find that they can actually digest this type of protein way more easily, and they can actually drink the milk without getting all like the reactions. Now that's not medical advice. I'm not saying if you're lactose intolerant just go and down a bottle, but you can try it, right? And it might work. And of course, if you want just better digestible protein, then you might as well just get A2 milk anyway. And so that is what I would recommend, or preferably just get raw milk, because raw milk, it tends to be A2, but if it's not, even though it isn't A2, if it is A1, it is still raw, meaning you get all of the nutrients, because when they heat it up, when they pasteurize it, it completely denatures all of the nutrients, so it's basically, there's no point in it basically. So you get all of the bioavailable sources of protein, you get all like the nutrients, the DHA, EPA, you get B12. Actually, I'm not sure what you get in raw milk. I'm not thinking, like compared to meat, because in meat you get taurine, creatine, carnosine, leucine. You get obviously A, D, E, K2, B12, all of your essential nutrients. But I don't think you get you don't get all of the essential nutrients in milk, but you get a lot of extras that are like really nice. It's basically just taking growth hormone in a way. So it's amazing. It's like legal growth hormone, raw milk. So go for that. That was a little rant, but that is what you are supposed to eat to get shredded, because you will pack on muscle whilst losing fat, because you are eating real food. That is how we are supposed to be. That is what has worked for me, and that is what will work for you. And if you want even more advanced education into this like nutrition and how to actually train properly, then the program below, the Growth Effect, is the best place to learn from. Like I have literally put so many hours. It's like this course right here is a 5-hour course going into everything you could possibly need to know. And I've just updated some things. I've added this holiday nutrition blueprint, just like some extra like PDFs and little bonus juicy things. And I've added an extra course in here, like an extra bonus course in here, just to make it like the most absolutely amazing program you could possibly join for advanced education if you are one of these people who is really invested into getting jacked by improving their health, because health equals looks. And of course you get one-on-one access to me, so I will be able to help you through this. I'll be able to help you get onto the correct diet for you that will maximize your progress in the shortest amount of time as possible. And there's lots of members in here who are absolutely crushing it as well. So if you want to finally start taking action, if you finally want to start seeing the results where you're not getting fat when you're trying to bulk and you actually look like this instead, then click the first link in the description. I will see you over there. Good night.